Hey, everybody. I am so glad that you're here watching and listening to this video because this is a rare opportunity I have to sit down with my good friend and colleague, Gordon Smith, who is from Gifted and Growing, which is a service where he really the center of his practice is to do counseling and therapy for gifted adolescents, adults, and families. And you can't just go to anybody for your stuff, gifted and TUE people. So how great it is to know about Gordon that he specializes in our people. But the other cool thing, and actually what I want to talk to Gordon about today, is his really cool improv groups that he runs for adults, gifted adults and teens. So again, how niche can you get, my friend? Oh my goodness. So we've known each other a while, and I've even had Gordon attend groups of mine and do stuff with parents and adults. I want to know, Gordon, why improv? Why is improv particularly, why does it lend itself to the gifted folks? Why should gifted folks do improv?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So like you said, I've been doing counseling and therapy with folks for years, and people come to me with really big challenges that they're facing from day to day, and we do all that therapeutic work. And then I started this whole improv complement to therapy. And what it does is it provides an entirely different experience for people to kind of arrive at some of the same places. That when people come to improv in a group of other gifted and TUE adults, first of all, they're feeling mirrored and met and can get that like felt sense of being in a group together. And that sense of safety that comes with that we just don't have a lot of practice with out in the world. And then the whole practice of improv is around really practicing spontaneity and practicing trusting yourself and trusting other people to have your back. And to be able to do this in an environment that you know is supportive and that is really just about play and laughter. It kind of takes it doesn't have that same sort of therapy vibe that we're going to be talking about some big heavy things. What we're going to do is practice living in the non-heavy places and to be in those spaces where we get to practice trusting ourselves and other people, and we get to do so from that place of play. And so, especially for gifted folks who go through the world feeling misunderstood and feeling not met, to be able to come together and have this space to practice this is so helpful, because then we get to carry it out into the world and begin to practice some of these improv ideas and ways of being out in the world, and you begin to see your relationships change and anxiety levels drop and perfectionism get shoved out the window, and a greater like tolerance or even acceptance or even invitation to uncertainty. Knowing that this is going to be okay.
I love safety, trust, play, laughter. I love all those words. And you know what? It's so funny because I'm always saying to people like, people, we are 0.01% of the population, but guess what? You're 100% of the people I see all day long. So how fun to have a place where you know you're going to be with your people and mirroring, like you said. That's just that in and of itself is unique and incredible. And I also think, Gordon, tell me what you think about this. The mission with Understanding Comes Calm is to bring out the best and raise self-confidence. My theory in life is self-confidence, man, is where it's at. And it's what's etched away at bit by bit for our 2E youth. It's starting very, very early with misunderstanding. All the way up, we don't outgrow it. We might start to understand it. But once you can feel okay in your skin, you know, I think I posted today in response to somebody on Facebook, I wrote something like, you know, guess what? When you leave the room, you're still with yourself. So you're the person you have to get along with.
Yeah, and so often when we're working with people around gaining that self-confidence, the first step is around courage, right? It's like doing the thing that's scary. And when we come into these improv spaces, it doesn't require as much courage because it's just not as scary. The stakes are low. We're actually playing. There are no mistakes. You can count on whatever you say that someone's going to say yes to it, and then they're going to add to it. So whatever you bring is going to be built upon. So you get to train your brain to that place of like stepping forward toward experience and people rather than being on your heels expecting misunderstanding.
I love it. Yes, and not yes, but.
That's right. Yeah, not no because.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
not actually. Yeah.
So, okay. So many questions. Okay. So how'd you get started in this? I mean, obviously, you and I talked a little bit before we jumped on, and, the center of your practice is really therapy, but so like, what happened?
Yeah. So, COVID hit, lockdown hit, and I moved my whole practice online. And I was looking for ways to build build intimacy and trust more effectively in online spaces. And I was just researching around this and ways to do this. And so I attended all these experimental groups who were doing all kinds of crazy things in March and April of 2020, and stumbled into Second City's online improv class and took it and realized immediately that this was it, that somehow this group of people who had never met were being so goofy and open with each other within 5 minutes of meeting, like goofier and more open than they might be with their families or with their friends. And I realized that this culture that was being set up through improv and the ability to facilitate play really allowed for this instantaneous experience of, oh, this feels okay. I'm okay. We're all in this together.
Very
and so
cool.
I did their improv for therapists group, and then I joined the improv therapy group, and then I was on the board, and then I was an instructor. And so I've just been moving through this for over 2 years now. And I guess it's coming up on 3. And really just like learning how to facilitate that space. And for me, what it means is I get to just like show up and hang out and play with some of the most complex, interesting people in the world.
So you have your PhD in improv. Cool. So, okay, well, I want to talk to you forever and I want to play with you. So here's what I want to ask you. Can you tell everybody how they can find out about you? What do you offer? What should they be looking for? Where do they go to learn about you and how they can play with you?
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple groups running right now, and they'll wrap up sometime late February. And so the next cycle will begin in mid-March. I'm looking at about March 19th. And I'll have an Improv for Twice Exceptional Teens group going, as well as an...
Great. Nobody has anything for 2E teens, so yay you.
It's amazing. This group we're running right now, we've got 9 people in it, 8 of whom identify as autistic, and almost all of them identify with like characteristics of ADHD and dyslexia and dyscalculia, and there's all these other sort of flavors in the gumbo, if you know what I mean. And to see these teens, and this whole group ended up being ages 12 to 15, and to see them come together and talk about an awkward age, right? This is a tricky age to feel accepted and to have that fear of standing out in the wrong ways. To see all these people show up and choose just to show up as they are and know that they're going to be accepted and what they're carrying back out into the world, it's just magic.
That is so cool.
That's going to kick back up around March 19th. And then my Improv for Gifted Adults class will start up at the same time. And that is folks from all over the world right now. We got the current group is from like California to Israel. And yeah. So you'll find info either at my Facebook page, which is Gordon Smith LPC, or at my website, which is giftedandgrowing.org.
Perfect. That is so great. And the self-confidence I'm sure you're giving those teens, they bring it into their day. I mean, so much better than a social skills group. Sorry, did I do that out loud? Anyway, so I'm so excited for those kids who are going into school situations and just kind of carrying themselves a little bigger and brighter. Okay, so I do have to just a little bit say, guys, Gordon is also going to be doing my last session of my 6-week 2E adult empowerment group. We are going to leave them laughing. Gordon, I can't wait to play with you at the empowerment group. And I am so grateful for your time today to share with the world the stuff that you do. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
And
welcome. And I just want to say that before we close, that first of all, that's going to be a scream. So I hope everybody does sign up and show up and just comes and plays and gets a taste for what this experience is like. Because it really is about joy and ease and play. And to be able to enter that space and just know what that feels like. So yes, everyone's invited.
thank you. Thank you. I can tell you're a little bit passionate about what you do, which I love. All right, guys. See you soon. Thanks for listening.